So here we are in the Type 6. Today we're going to go gathering manufactured materials. Now remember the last video was gathering raw materials. We're back at base and we're going to have a look around a few systems, see what we can find.
Ship released. Departure authorized.
Always busy in this station, so if I'm getting out of the station is easier than getting into it, usually. Looks like it's clear, let's get out what we can. I'll have a look locally around this system and see if there's any signal sources. If there aren't any, we'll go off to another system and search. First of all, I've got to take out the filter that's blocking them. The nav panel is filtered normally for simply to prevent information overload, stop it showing irrelevant information to me. Let's get away from the station. I think I need to filter a bit more actually. Take all the settlements out of the... Oh, that's better. I don't need to see those. And there's nothing here. Okay, it's unusual, but there's absolutely no signal sources at all here in this system. Okay, let's look at the galaxy map. Let's just get out of the way of the shipping lanes and traffic. Now, there are a few systems I know traditionally I've used for searching for manufactured materials. Whether they're still good, I don't know. I haven't done this for a while. I haven't needed to. Put in one system I know used to be very good for it, and we'll see what we find there. How far is it? I really want to go that far if I don't have to. Thing is, where I base my ships and where I tend to hang out out of sight is right on the edge of the bubble. I like it there, it's out of sight, out of mind, away from the authorities for the most part. Although since Power Play 2 became a thing in this game, Belang became a stronghold system for a major Imperial faction. By major Imperial power in fact. But that's beside the point. Salundi's quite a long way too. Where else have we got? Don't know if any of these are any good. No, anyway, in the end I decided to plot a route to Phong Wang. We'll check out the systems along the way, see if we find anything. Grab this opportunity to refuel as I'm a little bit low and I've got a few jumps to do to get to Phong Wang. This is how we refuel in flight. It's obviously cheaper than paying in the stations for fuel, and if you're out in the black away from civilization there is no other way to do it anyway. But you've got to be careful with the heat It's quite easy to cook the ship. You get too close to the star, get too far away, your scoop rate goes down to almost nothing. So you've got to balance the scoop rate with the heat and keep your eye constantly on what you're doing. You can't mess about doing other things while doing this. It does require 100% attention. They were full up. They're going to get away from the star, let the temperature drop off. Oh look, loads of signals. Let's see what we find. Now, unidentified signal sources can be almost anything, but they're often a good place to find materials. There's one. And we'll see in this video a few different signal sources and different things. I'm not going to explore all of them, there won't be time. But certainly some interesting things out here. The reason I'm using a Type 6 is because it's particularly handy for this. It can be equipped with the relevant equipment for this much more easily than the other ships, which have to be reconfigured quite extensively. In fact, this is one of the reasons I got this ship originally, was for doing things like this. It's a very handy utility vessel to go out and do material gathering, visiting engineers, all that kind of thing. They're all the same, aren't they? It looks like they're all degraded emissions. Let's go check one out. Now, degraded emissions is where a ship got destroyed, flew up in space, and the debris is still floating around. You'll find a lot of manufactured materials at these sources. Well, not a lot in this case, but there's something there. There's also a private data beacon which can give me some what we call encoded materials, i.e. data. As we scan the private data beacon, we'll get something. Don't know what though. Well, that's quite handy. It's used in engineering. Just make sure my cargo hatch is active. It's normally turned off to save power, as the power plant is kind of running at capacity anyway in this ship. Freighters don't have very large power plants because normally it's just cargo racks in the ship, so there's not a lot of power. Oh, what's going out now? Okay, anything at level 4 is turned off. What is priority 4 in here? Ugh, we're not launching SRVs in flight, so that's really not a problem. Oh, so what I'm doing here, I'm using collector limpets to do the work for me. And what's a collector limpet, you may ask? Well, a limpet in this game is a programmable drone which can be programmed for a variety of tasks depending on the module you fit in your ship to control it. In this case, collector limpets are used to collect materials, usually used in mining. So when you're blasting chunks off of an asteroid, pieces of material are coming off it, they can fly out and collect them and bring them into the ship for processing. They can also be used for this, gathering materials in space. A fair few more we've got here. Just check the material inventory, that's raw materials. Let me just change the filters. Get rid of the raws, show me the manufactured. That's better. Well, many of these things are used for engineering, some are used for synthesis as well. All sorts of things there. Not got a great deal of anything, as you can see, apart from proprietary composites. You know, rather a lot of those, but there's nothing left to collect. Right. So the limpets are just circling under the ship right now because there is nothing else to pick up. Certain modules require hard points to be deployed to activate. The Limpet controller is one of them. Limpets are destroyed when you go to Super Cruise. But they're expendable anyway, they only have a certain life and then the batteries die and they just float off into space. They're a consumable item. I bought a load before I left the station. Brought a load with me. This is the reason why you sometimes see posters in the station saying don't forget your limpets. Believe me, we've all done it. Especially gone out mining and forgotten the damn limpets. Pretty difficult to find without them. Looks like everything here is degraded emissions. A lot of space junk in this system. What's the nearest one to me now? That one. Let's go there. Check that one out. The quantity of material and the exact material that you find will vary randomly between each signal source. And now I'm overspeeding because I get a bit too heavy on the throttle. Ship's gone into overspeed. Oh, I can't stop it. Damn it. And we're going to overshoot. Get a bit overzealous on the throttle trying to get there. Oh, these a few more over here. Oh, they're miles away. They're miles away. I don't fancy going all that way, to be honest. That one's really close by. Let's go there. They normally dot about all over the system. When using the full spectrum scanner to map a system, you may remember seeing all those little dotted circles everywhere in many systems that I generally ignore. They're just noise when you're looking for planets and moons and other celestial bodies. But today I'm actually interested in them. There's a few more things here this time, a bit more of a selection. All useful, so I'm going to depending on the size and class of limpet controller you're using, you can vary a number of limpets. Some can only control one limpet at a time, some can do two. The very large ones can launch three, but they're a bit bigger than will fit in this ship. And of course you can have multiple controllers in the ship if you've got a big enough ship. The T6 is definitely not big enough for that, not with the other gear I've got fitted in this one. Sometimes you can get an idea what ship it was from the pieces floating in space. I can't with this one. They're unrecognisable chunks. The heat conduction wiring, for example, is used in synthesising heat sinks, which are very useful if you're out in the middle of nowhere or you're out of the system away from the station. That's using Super Cruise overcharge and things are getting a bit hot. You've run out of heat sinks, you've got to manufacture some more on the fly. So it always pays to keep plenty of this material on hand for that. Okay, that limpet's run out of things to pick up. There's only one item left to collect and the other limpet's gone after it, so I'm bringing it back. Yeah, they're both obviously Now they've run out of things to do, so they're just going to circle under the ship until the batteries expire, or until they encounter something else that they can go and collect. For example, if the materials are out of range of the limpets, and I then fly closer to the materials so they can pick it up. Or in the case of mining, maybe they've run out of things to pick up, I blast some more pieces off an asteroid and then they go and pick it up. Effectively on standby with the circling under the ship. Once activated, a limpet will not, well, it can't be turned off or retrieved. The battery will die after a period of time, a certain number of minutes normally. But they're a single-use item. I've got plenty on board, so it's not a problem. And I can synthesise some more, but only in small quantities. And it does use a lot of materials, so got a little bit careful flying into a debris field. Shields will handle it normally, but you've got to be a bit careful.
Incoming message.
Okay, there's some more encoded materials, aka data. Do I want those? Yeah, why not? What I'm going to do, as there's only one item to collect, I'm not going to waste a limpet on a single item. What we're going to do is we are going to find that material. That's not what I'm looking for. Where is it? On the scanner, the item with the brackets around is what I've targeted. You've got to be a little bit careful, precision flying as it is. I'm going to scoop it using the cargo hatch. So not to crash into that. That is a piece of an Imperial courier by the look of it. And that's what it was before it got blown to bits. And we're going to lose it. We're not. Got it. There you go, material captured. Now, obviously doing it this way, if there was, say, 10 material items, would take forever. Totally impractical in mining, because there could be tens of pieces of material floating around.
Frameshift drive charging.
Far more efficient to use limpets where practical, but here, a single item, 1 or 2 items, is it worth wasting a limpet on 1 item, 2 items, 3 items? No. Let's go on to the next system and see what we find there. Let's see what we've got here. Let's get away from the star first. Oh, this system's being colonised. Someone's deployed a colonisation beacon here. And the colonisation ships here as well. I see it a little bit later on the nav panel. So it's going to be a bit of activity, be a few ships flying around, people doing various things. Don't really want to go there. Oh, that's a planet. Encoded. Try it out, I suppose. A very limited amount of material and, well, of actual manufactured material, and then a data beacon which will give me some data or encoded materials. Atypical disrupted wake echoes are grade 1 if I remember rightly, possibly grade 2. I've got plenty of those already from wake scanning, so a bit pointless. Warn shield emitters are grade 1. And I've got plenty of those too, so I'm not going to waste my time scooping those. Go on to the next source and see what I find. Off to the next signal. The navigational marker, what do you want? We're not going to say my thoughts on microphone there, but what he can go and do, but you can guess. Of course, I'm in a freighter, so I can't go and blast him into pieces, make him into degraded emissions too, much as I'd like to. What's that? Oh, encoded. Do I want to? Yes. Note the timer on the top right. Every signal has a timer before the countdown expires. When the countdown gets to 0, the signal stops transmitting and you lose the trace. Therefore you cannot, but it's basically you can't go to it anymore. You can't find it.
Incoming message.
Low grade rubbish. I don't really want. Do I want those? No. Again, I've got plenty of that material already. It's really low grade stuff. That's the risk you take with these signal sources. You can be a lot of low grade rubbish, or it could be something useful. That's the various data downloads from the beacons. Clear those. The only thing I'm carrying in my cargo hold is limpets, and they're worthless to pirates. So. Nope, that's not what I'll do either. Convoy dispersal pattern is where usually a military convoy or strike group have been active. No, I'm just concerned about that ship hanging around behind me. Is it another pirate? No, it's not. Okay. There's a planet. Convoy dispersal pattern. Don't really find a lot there usually. Nope, that's not going to find much useful either. That's definitely quite useful. There's a colonization beacon. That's another planet. That's a, what's that as a planet? No, 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 no. Is there anything else? Where is it? Behind me. There's fire. That one's service planetary. Trust me, you're right in the T6. You do not want to be flying into that. Coded emissions, I'm not really too interested in. Most are going to be like what I've just found. There's a colonisation ship. Check a few more out. Why are we suddenly going to overspeed? What's going on now? Oh, because I just targeted a signal source that's right up close and I was going too fast. I wasn't going to visit that one anyway. That was a ship just popped up there.
Frameshift drive charging.
Let's get out of here, go to the next system. I'm not wasting my time here. That's a brown dwarf star though. Very dim light, a lot of heat, a lot of various energy sources coming from it, a lot of X-rays and things. Don't want to get too close to one of them. Encoded, no, not going to bother those. What's that? Nope. Nope. Sometimes you find cargo canisters and things like that floating about in convoy dispersal patterns, but I'm more interested in materials rather than salvage of cargo canisters, especially if they're potentially marked as somebody's. I've got to go to a black market with them. I'd rather be in a ship with a bit more armament if I was going to carry those sort of things. Or better equipped for stealth. Ooh, that's interesting. I've not seen one of these before. That's going to be something belonging to one of the powers. Didn't tell me which one, but okay, an escape pod. Someone's also had a jettison from a ship. And a few more escape pods, wreckage components, and who's that? Who's that flying around? Anaconda. Okay, who is he? What is he doing? That's the faction he's working for. Or the power order that he's working for. Eileen Duval. His combat rank is deadly and he's in an Anaconda. He looks like he's either hoovering up those materials or he's guarding them. Now, I'm not pledged to any power at this time, although I'm based in a system controlled by one of them. I'm flying a pretty much unarmed Type 6. He's an Anaconda. The odds of me surviving if I start hoovering up that stuff with him there are pretty slim. So I'm just going to watch what he's doing at the moment. It's tempting. I mean, I could take him to the search and rescue contact and get paid well for retrieving some escape pods and rescuing the people in them, but given I'm not from that power, I'm not too sure how he's going to react. He's not going anywhere, is he?
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, I've got to pick your battles. I've got no hope in how to survive and get hit with this ship, so.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go and look for something else. I don't really want those. What else is there? Is there anything else worth checking out here? What's that? You save yourself a lot of grief just checking out the signals first. Make a judgment call whether I want to go and check them out or not. No. 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 I think I'll just go on to the next system.
Frameshift drive charging.
Don't really need fuel scoop right now, it just happens automatically if I'm close enough to the star. What do we got here? Ah, this is what I've been looking for. So I'm looking for Far Wang, but I haven't quite got there yet. Don't recognise that faction name, but anyway. This is the stuff I'm looking for. Let's get into the debris field. We're get close enough to the limpets to be able to reach. Oh, look at that lot. There is absolutely tons of stuff here.
Cargo scoop deployed. Programming limpet drone. Power plant capacity exceeded. Programming limpet drone.
We're losing way just spits out the limpets. Now this high-grade emissions is exclusively high-grade material, high-grade meaning grade 4 and grade 5, the rarest stuff and the most valuable. They don't come up that often. Since the engineering changes last year made in the game, they greatly increased the spawn rate at these sites. See, they just come up to the cargo hatch, dump it into the cargo hold and then fly off to get the next one. Doesn't look that much, but obviously it goes in a bit deeper than you can see. Here they are. They just fly through the hull of my ship. Okay. Not sure I managed to do that. I may be here some time getting this lot. There is absolutely tons of it here. Absolutely tons. Well, let's scroll down to those materials. And we have not a huge amount, but by this rate I'll have rather a lot with them. I'll finish here. Beauty of the high grade stuff is you can trade down at the material trader for, so for example, I did chemical processes. I could trade some of these, get quite a few of them. They're still going. Let's have a look around the cockpit while the limpets are doing their work. That's a proximity warning going off, caused by a limpet flying right up to the cargo hatch. This is the Type 6 cockpit, designed for good visibility all round, particularly when landing in unfamiliar places, settlements, etc. That's one of the system screens. You do get a good view out of these freighter cockpits. They're not the most exciting things to fly, but they're not meant to be. They're workhorses. Look at that tapestry of stars everywhere. We're in deep space right now. It's very peaceful out here. Just sit here, relax, look at the twinkling stars. A rare moment of calm and clarity. What have we got now? As you can see, we've got quite a few more than we had a few minutes ago. And they're going to be going for ages. I mean, if I'd known there'd be this kind of quantity, I would have maybe tried to fit another limpet controller into the ship and launch a few more, but they're going to be there a while with just 2 limpets. You can see the limpets distance as it gets closer. Over on the right hand side there. And that's what they look like. I untargeted it. Let's go back and target it again. The little legs on the end, they're a clamp, a grabber if you like, a little manipulator used to grab hold of whatever they're collecting. The opposite end has a little propulsion jet. It's going quite a way out. They've got approximately 1.3 kilometres I believe with this type of controller. Just depending on the grade of controller you use and the range of the radio signal it can send to control the limpet. If they go out of range of the controller, they will effectively shut down. The little claws are deployed when in flight and active when in standby. They retract into the body of the limpet. See on the scanner the limpet's moving back and forth. The one I've targeted has the brackets around it. They're going to be going for a while. Eventually they're going to expire, the batteries will die. I'll just launch a couple more. Of course, I've got 26 left in the hold at the moment, so not a problem. 1.2 kilometres, yeah, it's going out of maximum range. I should move closer really, but I'm just too zoned out here. Sometimes it's nice to just sit back and let the automation do the work. Don't get to do that very often. Don't have a lot of automation in my ships, to be honest. Partly because of slot usage and partly because of risks. Okay, how many more have I got? There they are. I'm all getting closer. There we go. There's a description of it. Let me look at the other one. Very rare. It says grade 5. You notice the 5 little flashes in the hexagon. Making chaff. Okay, that's one thing they're used for. Chaff is used as a countermeasure to distract gimbaled and turreted weapons when being fired at a vessel. Got this other one. If it expired, does launch a couple more. I'm getting close to maxing out my storage now. There's that many of them here. I'm very nearly maxed out, and there's still way more I can take back with me. The distance, only almost a kilometre away. Now, they're within range of the limpets, though. Storage full. Okay, I didn't see ignore listing. That way they'll ignore the material I told them not to pick up. Focus on the other one. And I am completely maxed out of one and nearly maxed out of the other, so we'll collect enough to max out and then we can go. One of the limpets is currently in standby under the ship. I don't think I'm going to get any more, am I? There's still way more I can take back, but that's fine. Now they're both on standby under the ship. There they are. Note the clamps were retracted into the body.
Cargo scoop retracted.
Alright, time to depart. I will go to Fong Wang, see if I find anything else there. Sometimes I find a different high grade material to what I've got already. As I'm already there almost. There's not a lot here, is there? Compared to where I've just come from. But again, things do change, things do move on. It's been a while since I've been out of Fong Wang looking for high grade emissions. Nope, not what I'm looking for. Definitely not what I'm looking for. Okay, what about that one? Ah, interesting. What's that? No, not interested in that. Let's go check out this one. It's going to be one or two things. Find out what it is when we get there. As I suspected. of a Type 6 for a whole group of Type 6s. Same type of ship I'm flying. And a Type 9. There you go. You can read that on the screen. As I'm in a Type 6, I'm going to join in with the formation, or at least try to. Fly along with them for a bit. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a space funeral. The one and only constant in a life full of uncertainties. There they are. Let's try and keep a distance from the funeral ship. Although I'm not good at this. Flying in formation takes a lot of practice, and I simply haven't had that practice, so I'll do my best. I'm catching up with the Type 6, one of the escort vessels. We fly very slowly for a funeral. I'm not going slow enough. Try and get roughly into the formation. Conscious that the paint job will make me stand out a long way amongst them, but okay, there's a outpost. I can go there. What I'm going to do now is just very respectfully and slowly break away from the formation. Just let the funeral formation fly away from me rather than me fly away from them. Out of respect. Very slowly accelerate. Again, I'm not going to make a mockery of their ceremony. They're slowly getting out of sensor range, as you can see.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
We'll go and dock with Volterra Hub. Go and chill out there for a bit. I've achieved my objective. I found the materials I was looking for in sufficient quantities, so I have what I came out here for. I'm going to put my feet up for a bit, I think, before I fly back to base. But of course, first we've got to get there and dock. And they've got to be within 7.5 kilometers before requesting docking. Any further out will be refused automatically.
Docking request granted.
Okay, pad 3 is facing me this time. It's a lot easier. You can hear a ship coming in, so don't go too fast. There they are. Although, yeah, okay, they tell us there's a speed limit of 100 kilometers. Sorry, yeah, 100 meters per second around starports and outposts. But as you can see, we don't all observe it, not all the time anyway. The insignia on the landing pad tells me this particular system is controlled by Yuri Grom. He's a leader of another power. Bit of a communist, if I remember rightly. I'm going to try and film a landing from underneath, but I've not tried this before. How successful it'll be, I don't know. Now I'm doing this sort of blind. I haven't got the cockpit displays visible from this view, so try and guesstimate where I should be. But again, the logo is normally right in the centre of the pad, so if I get more or less over it, I should be somewhere in right now. I'm not a million miles out, but it's not the way to do a landing. Sliding around on the landing pad like this. No.
Engines disengaged.
We're docked now. And that's all for this video. See you in the next one.